From our free daily newsletter, the latest from podnews.net with Supporting Cast. Advertisers run multiple attribution systems because media players won't align on how to measure ad response. We can't even agree on a shared definition of a podcast. Podcast advertising measurement is broken. So says the Alliance for Measurement in Podcasting, launched to create the first podcasting measurement framework. The group suggests that $1 billion of demand is sitting on the sidelines. It plans to introduce a new unified framework for use across audio and video at Oxford Road's upcoming CAO Summit in July. The Australian Audio Awards took place last night. We linked to a full list of the winners. The awards, which recognise both radio and podcasting, chose Mamma Mia Out Loud as the People's Choice Award and included separate awards for independent and major podcasts. Public radio station WBUR stand accused of butchering episodes, newsletters and emails to hide the fact that the hosts and producers of WBUR's Circle Round, Rebecca Shear and Eric Shimalonis, have left the show. In a press release announcing a fundraiser for a new project, the hosts say that they managed to work in a brief goodbye into their final episode, but they've been hoping to do more. In a statement, a WBUR spokesperson told us that they wish Shear and Shim the very best in their next chapter. The winners of the Quill Podcast Awards were announced. The fifth year of the awards, the winner of Podcast of the Year was The Melting Pod. YouTube announced new features for podcast listeners using YouTube Premium. On the Go mode gives podcast app-style controls for users who aren't watching the screen. Auto Speed is an intelligent speed playback control. And within YouTube Music, Ask Music is a personalised playlist generator, which can now be used for podcast recommendations. The company also released a new data point. In April 2026, YouTube Premium users, including trials, watched over 800 million hours of podcasts. YouTube hasn't, though, released any recent numbers about how many YouTube Premium users there are. The last public number was 125 million in March 2025. So the number is a big number, but not a very helpful one. Spotify announced the newest winners of Spotify's Creator Milestone Awards, celebrating large streaming numbers. Winners get editorial features, social media spotlights and other opportunities. Silver Awards, the highest awards given this time round, went to German language Dick und Doof and The Diary of a CEO. And Muckrack has announced it now gives access to more than 65,000 podcast transcripts. The company, used by PRs and journalists, monitors 2.4 million podcasts overall. And thank you to our friends at Iono.fm in Cape Town in South Africa for becoming a supporter of Pod News. The company offers podcast hosting, web streaming and audio advertising, and its website has a full podcast directory of shows from South Africa and the wider region. Companies like Iono.fm help keep Pod News free for everyone. No hidden Slack channels or members-only meetings here. We're grateful to Francois and the team for their support, and if you'd like to be like them, then you can become a Pod News supporter at podnews.net/support. And in podcast news,
we wanted to be the community for the whole industry, because we know and understand that if you don't have people in these positions making decisions, nothing really changes.
In the Pod News Weekly Review this week, we speak to the co-founders of BIPOC Podcast Creators to learn why it's closed and what the industry should do next. And we also take a look at all the Spotify announcements to investors. From AudioChuck, Counterclock returns for Season 8 and what it calls the most significant case in the show's history. Investigative journalist Delia Dambra will investigate the Lane Bryant murders from 2008, a case she believes is solvable with modern forensic tools. The Cigar Aficionado podcast is new from Cigar Aficionado magazine. The latest episode worries about Cuba. Imagine the smell of that studio. And new from award-winning podcaster Danny Brown, Artifacts, Stories from the Emotional History of the Internet, is a storytelling podcast exploring forgotten technology, internet culture, retro gaming and digital nostalgia. From the Dreamcast and old internet forums to burned CDs and midnight launches, Memories. Season 1 examines why these memories will stay with us long after the technology disappeared. And this podcast is sponsored by Supporting Cast. The shows you listen to probably already use Supporting Cast. Supporting Cast powers subscriptions for some of the most trusted names in podcasting, because when your business depends on subscriber trust, the platform behind it matters. Supporting Cast would like to talk about what you could build together. You'll find a link in our show notes, and that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe for free, we're at podnews.net.